Michael went to the driving range with his rangefinder and hit 75 golf balls with his pitching wedge and measured the distance each ball traveled in yards. The accompanying table shows his data, complete parts A and B. Okay, so this first part should be something we've already done. We're going to look at our data. And if I'm just looking at that, I don't have a good sense for how that is distributed. So let's go ahead and open it straight up in StatCrunch. Okay, one little note here. Notice when I opened it up, the drive was in var1 and distance. This really needs to be, I'm going to cut this and put it up here. I'm going to cut this and put it up here. I'll report this, and hopefully by the time you see this, the variables will pop in there. So always check that out. I've seen that happen a handful of times in my labs. And then I need to go ahead and, I don't think I have to, but I like to go ahead and delete this row. So I think I go to Edit, Rows, and Delete. I'm going to delete that one row. Okay, let's go ahead and create a histogram. And notice that the drive is just the number, his first drive, that's how he did it, and so on. So I'm going to go ahead and just do distance, press compute, and there we go. So, in practice, in reality, we're not going to be matching histograms to that. We would actually take that, size it how we want, copy it, and paste it into our document. But for the purposes of this, we're going to have to compare this one to the MyLab. Let's take a look. Now, I did notice one thing I neglected to do. It says construct a relative frequency histogram. So let me go back over here. Some of you may have caught that. I'm going to go to Edit, Options, Edit, and let's change that to relative frequency. And there we go. So that's one differentiation they have here. We have relative frequencies on this. So let's take a look and see how we compare. So for instance, I know it's not going to be C, right? Because these are the actual frequencies. So I know it's not C, and I know it's not D. So the choice is between A and B. And if I look at these, it looks like B is the one, because A stretches all the way down to about 93. And we can see here, this one actually stops at 96. Again, I mentioned this in other videos. I can change that x-axis and make it look more like what they have. Okay, so it looks like it's going to be B. Okay, comment on the shape of the distribution. Well, that's pretty symmetric, isn't it? And normal, so approximately normal. A lot of students will put uniform. Remember, uniform is if it's the same, pretty much roughly the same for every value here. And it's not. Okay, draw a normal density function on the relative frequency histogram and choose the correct answer. So you could have figured it out, but let me show you how you can have StatCrunch do that for you. I'm going to Options, Edit, and Overlay Distribution. I'm going to put the normal distribution. Press Compute. And there we go. And even gives us the mean of the normal distribution with these values, standard deviation. And so the only one here that makes sense, it's certainly not A or B. And check here our vertical axis. These graphs are pretty close to the same. Well, actually, this one messed it up two different ways, right? It gives us the counts here, which we don't want, and also stretches out to 93. They're trying to make it easy for us. Had to be that one. Do you think the normal density function accurately describes the distance Michael hits with a pitching wedge? I mean, that's pretty close. That's about as close as you're going to get in reality. So let's see which one it is. It's going to be a yes, because he hits the ball is random variable, so it's normally distributed. Nope, not all random variables are normally distributed. We've definitely seen those. So this is the only one that makes sense. The histogram shape resembles a normal curve, and the area of each bar is roughly equal to the area under the curve for the same region. All right, well, I hope that helps.